Let's do a show.
Hey.
No
Oh man.
shortcuts. Mighty Sensei, yeah. No shortcuts. Here to give you motivation and a little bit of inspiration. No shortcuts. Being the boss ain't easy. Every day somebody needs me. It's no shortcuts. I wake up, stretch, say a prayer, coffee and then some fresh air. Time to get it poppin'. I got a fresh 24. Hopefully I'm blessed with plenty more. Meanwhile, I'm thankful for the fire on the inside burning. I keep earning as the world keeps turning. The thing about life is you never stop learning. Hoping everybody Maxwell, Vernon. You make a plan, then you stick to it. Even in tough times, get through it. So get to it. And make sure your family's straight. We going worldwide, you understanding me, mate? Providing a platform where like minds can meet. Closed mouths don't get fed, want everybody to eat. On Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. Tuesdays at noon, let's all get rich. It's no shortcuts. Tell a friend to tell a friend about the No Shortcut Show.
Yes, yes. So please tell a friend to tell a friend about the No Shortcut Show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Today is Tuesday. It's 12 p.m. We just had prom last weekend. We got the NBA playoffs going on right now.
For sure.
It's Teacher Appreciation Week.
Yes, it is.
We got state testing going on this week also. Not only that, this weekend coming up, this Sunday is Mother's Day. We got all of this going on, and you guys came to join us, and we appreciate it. It's a beautiful day outside. The weather is nice. Sun is shining. It was supposed to rain a little earlier, but it looked like that cleared up. So we're here, ladies and gentlemen. As you guys come on in, feel free to comment. Feel free to say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Feel free to share this to your individual platforms as well, news feeds. There's Mom with the gold star / perfect attendance. Hello, Mother.
Perfect
Happy
attendance.
Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day early. My mom's been my biggest supporter my whole entire life. I remember when I was in 8th grade running for student government. And she had all the girls at school. She was working in the school system. She had all the young ladies at school in the study hall making posters and stuff to pins to put on their shirt buttons and all of that. So yeah. Just to go down memory lane right quick. Mom helped me out all the time. So we appreciate you, Mom. Who else is in the building? I see my man CJ.
Anita
It's Nurses Week.
Nurses Week too. I didn't even know that. My wife's a nurse, man. It's Nurses
Hello,
Week.
Anita. Yeah, it's all kind of weeks going on, you know.
I gotta go get something now.
Yes. Nurses Week. What else we missing, ladies and gentlemen? Feel free to let us know.
CJ
representing our former guest, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. CJ Bell representing the Tams and the 14 Karat Gold Band. We saw those guys on Sunday out in Fayetteville. You know, it was a busy weekend, but we had, and I thought I was busy. CJ told me they had 4 shows, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yeah,
wow,
so these guys is out there getting it, man. Shout out to the Tams, shout out to CJ, Lil Red, the rest of the guys, man. We enjoy doing shows with them, man. It's like our brothers out there on the road, so it's always a pleasure when we run into them and get a chance to work together, you know?
Good deal.
Shout out to Juan Velasquez.
Juan Velasquez, Cruise Planners. What's happening, my brother? Good to see you again. Thanks for joining us as usual. Proud partners of the show.
Yes, y'all.
Appreciate you. Yo, what's happening, brother?
Man, I'm excited. We got a wonderful guest in store we're gonna bring on in just a little bit. But both of us are acquaintances of his. We go back. You know, we were trying to figure it out a minute ago.
We were trying to count the years.
I'm gonna go ahead and put a dub on it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put 20 on
you,
it, man.
And it's probably been, I guess, about 14, 15 years for me that I've known both of you gentlemen.
So we're gonna have a great time today, ladies and gentlemen. So please take a moment to share this. If you're on Facebook, share this on your news feed or your actual timeline. If you're on YouTube, hey, spread it around as well. Shout out to our folks on YouTube as well.
Twitch.
Shout out to our folks over on Twitch. You know, we thank you all for being here with us today. You know,
yes.
It's I look forward to these Tuesday chats, ladies and gentlemen, at 12 noon, and
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just
No,
gonna say nothing officially to announce yet, but Instagram is coming. They are working on getting that thing happening to be able to live
yeah,
stream on Instagram as well
simultaneously.
through a platform like this. So that's
Yeah.
gonna be coming very very soon.
Very good, very good. So soon, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be able to choose whatever platform you want to watch live, whether it be Instagram, whether it be Facebook, whether it be Twitch, or
Watch them
whether
both.
it be or what am I missing? Or whether it be YouTube. You know what I
YouTube,
mean?
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
we're gonna
Shout out
have
to
you
YouTube.
covered. Yeah, so it's no shortcuts, aka no excuses.
That's right. That's right. And yeah, head
Yeah,
over to the
man.
YouTube for sure and subscribe to the YouTube because you can watch all the back episodes. So when we go live, you can see this on
Absolutely.
Facebook and you'll watch it all day long and replay it on Facebook for a week or so. But
Yeah.
all the back episodes, and this is 52 today, so all
52 today.
51 of our previous episodes are on the YouTube channel. So you can watch those,
Yeah.
comment on them, let us know, how you like the origin
Yeah.
story of this
Yeah.
fine show
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. We started this, ladies and gentlemen, last January of 2022, and I was coming off of a previous show that I was honored and had a pleasure to be a part of. That's my story. All of that's still on YouTube on our chairman of the board page. But yeah, we started this particular platform a year ago. A little
Yeah,
over a year
a little
ago.
over a
So,
year ago.
we're in our 52nd episode. We appreciate you guys, taking a journey with us thus far.
Yeah.
It's been great. So we try to inform. Hey, DJ Sticks in the house,
Josh
Josh
Walker,
Walker.
DJ Sticks, what's
Yeah,
happening, my brother?
yeah. So we just try
Good to
to
see you,
inform.
man.
We try to motivate and encourage, and at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, we like to have a good time while we're here.
Yeah.
We try to have we try to have balance. And be sure, if you haven't gone over to our No Shortcuts community on
Hmm.
Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, please stop by there. All you got to do is hit the search bar, type in No Shortcuts community, and join, because we got. Also, let me back up. DJ Sticks was also a former guest of ours, and as well as Mr. Juan Velasquez, a former guest of ours. I so I said that about CJ a little while
Yeah.
ago. So let me give these guys their props as well. These all guys have been former guests on our show. But speaking of the community, go over there and join, ladies and gentlemen, because uh, everyone that's a guest on our show has a different type of service that they provide. And so we encourage you guys to, instead of like asking Facebook for this or asking Facebook for that, you can join our community and be involved with a wealth of people who do a variety of things.
Yeah.
And the point of us having them on our show is basically a business card for whatever it is that you do, and this will live on YouTube. So our guests come on, they share their story with you, and tell you how they got to where they are today, and it
Yeah.
helps you build you know uh, build familiarity
Yeah.
and rapport.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
And
so
just
that's the focus.
and
Go ahead. I'm
just to
sorry, bro.
inspire you because you might be in a situation where you're thinking about starting your own business or you're thinking
Yeah,
about going into business or you have a side hustle that you're
absolutely.
devoting more and more time to and you're interested in how to get started or how to progress it and move forward. That's why we bring on lots of people that have been through that, have gone through different
Yeah.
stages of life and business, transitioned into different things, just horror stories, just to be inspiring
Hmm.
so you can see this is how you're going to get there. There's
Yeah.
no shortcuts to doing it. You're going to have to
No
do it
shortcuts.
the long way
Yeah,
and
yeah,
learn some
yeah.
things
And
on the road, but
that's
it's
right.
going to be worth it. It's going to be
Yeah,
worth
and
it.
there's no one way,
Hmm.
down the path. But again, we have our guests on to share their stories. You pick and choose what applies to you, what
Yeah.
resonates with you, and move with it. You
Yeah,
know?
absolutely, man. Real quick,
Yes,
before we
sir.
bring on our guests, tell me about your weekend, man. I heard you were with CJ and the Tams and the chairman of the
Yeah,
board on
yeah.
Sunday. What was the rest
On
of the weekend
Sunday.
like?
Yeah, so that was in Fayetteville, North Carolina, on Sunday afternoon, going into the evening.
Hmm.
And prior to that, I was at church on Sunday morning. Shout out to the lovely folks over at Mount Dewell Baptist Church. And then Saturday night, the chairman of the board and the executives were in Shakori Hills, which was like a 4-day long festival. We played on day 3.
Hmm.
To me, it appeared to be like a little mini Woodstock, the way it was set up. There were
Yeah.
tents everywhere. People were camping out for the whole whole 4 days. Music stages all throughout these grounds. You can't even really see all of the grounds. I had no cell phone service. Where my battery bars usually are, it said SOS. So it was the first time.
He was out there.
way out there. So, but yeah, it was a good time, man. So yeah, that's my weekend in a nutshell, and I'll get into what's coming up this week towards the end of the show. What about yourself? Because we getting into this warm weather / busy season with music and as far as music and entertainment is concerned.
Yeah, it is here. It is officially here, man. I did a wedding on Saturday, and now that it's Tuesday, I don't even remember where I was at Saturday. I don't remember where it was at, but I had a wedding on. Charlotte. I was in Charlotte at the Palmer building. Yeah.
Palmer, all right.
Yeah,
nice,
and then
man.
Sunday at Pleasant Grove Farm. It's a newer venue and like the north side of Charlotte too.
Okay.
So Saturday, Sunday, double duty, man. That's why I don't even know where I was at. Like, where was I this weekend? I was somewhere.
Nice. Yeah, it's like that. It's a blur when you're ripping and running, and you got to be responsible for children, and it's Teacher Appreciation Week going on. So every day there's something you got to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm Xing them off as I go. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot going on, ladies and gentlemen. But we blessed, thankful, grateful, humble, highly favored, and all of that good stuff with a cherry on top. Yeah, that's my cue card.
Yeah,
all of that with a cherry on top. But we glad to be here and never counted robbery. You guys joining us on your lunch hour, whatever you may have going on your Tuesdays at noon to come through and let's see, since it's lunch, come through and break bread with us.
Yeah, come through and break bread.
You come through and break bread with us. Yeah.
Tell us what y'all eating for lunch today. Tell us what you're eating for lunch. And Midas, tell us about our guest, man.
Yeah, I just want to say before I introduce our guest, y'all feel free to comment amongst each other. Feel free to add to the conversation. We'll see it. We might not get to it right away. Just like Famous playing y'all records, he might play it.
I might play it.
I'm just kidding, but we might not get to it right away. And if y'all have any questions for us or questions for our guests, leave them in the chat. We'll be perusing as we go.
Yeah,
and with that being said,
Juan will get us started in the comments. I know that.
Yeah. He'll definitely get it started.
Go ahead.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest for today. As I was saying at the top of the program, I believe me and this young man go back about 20 years. I told him when he signed on to the Green Room, I said he still looked the same as he did when I first met him. But we go way back, ladies and gentlemen. We met in the gym about 20 years ago. Ended up chatting it up over time. Found out he was in the music just like I was. So he's covered everything musically as far as being an artist. A hip-hop artist. We've done plenty of shows together, showcases, Famous. We were all in that circuit at one time performing and all of that. Not only is he an artist that released and recorded music, he's also a producer. So he was at a certain time in his career, ladies and gentlemen, he was putting together music for other artists as well, producing songs. He was also a DJ. Now, with saying he's a DJ, I can recollect there was a time he and I were chatting. He was DJing the wedding, and he said, I met this guy today. He's like, Midas, I met this guy today by the name of J. Cole. Says he's signed to Rock Nation and Jay-Z. And my reply at the time was, man, you know how people be talking.
Yeah.
I know J. Cole, I ain't heard of him. Then about 6 months later, the warm-up dropped.
Wow.
This guy met J. Cole before any of us really knew about him and was telling us about him. Furthermore, on his DJ and resume, we got, if you're living in the Charlotte area, ladies and gentlemen, there's a guy who's from this area whose father played NBA basketball, a guy by the name of Stephen Curry.
I heard of him.
His dad is Dale Curry. I guess also DJ Stephen Curry's wedding reception, and I'm gonna leave. And that's gonna be all I leave you guys with for the intro. I'm gonna let him fill in the rest of the blanks. But he's also a mixing engineer. He can get in the studio and make your song sound good. Not only that, but he has pivoted, ladies and gentlemen, and now he's into doing some personal training and helping you guys meet some whatever fitness goals you may have. We're going to cover all that today and then some. But without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise in the chat. If you're at your cubicle, you can make some applause noise in your head. Then we're going to make some applause on it. We're going to give a round of applause on the screen. Please help me welcome Mr. LeVar Gladden, a.k.a. Mr. LG.
Hey, what's happening?
Yeah. What's happening, brother?
Man, that intro was amazing. You make me sound like I've done some things in my life, man.
You
Yeah,
have. I haven't even covered everything, but
been a few
I figured
places.
I figured those would be some things that would be fun facts for our
Yeah,
audience, So and things that I remember
Mhm.
about you, you know what I mean? Yes, things that I was
yeah,
like, yo,
man. Like,
okay, out here shaking and baking.
yeah, man. Hey, and before we get started, I know it's a conversation about me, but man, salute to everything y'all doing with this
Uh,
platform, man. It's
Oh,
incredible. I'm a big fan, man. So appreciate it.
yeah,
thank you,
yeah. I
thank
think
you,
I think
brother.
we all fans of each other at the end of the
Yes,
day,
sir.
right?
Yeah, that's what it's
Yeah,
about,
man.
Yeah.
man. We all inspire each other, man. That's good. That's good stuff for sure.
Absolutely,
Yeah, and
absolutely.
it's great when we as men, young men at that, can build relationships that last,
Yep.
for a couple of decades and
Mhm.
then some, and that just lets you know the type of people we are and the quality of talent that we can bring to the table for us to,
Yeah.
remain in cahoots
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
such a long period of time.
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So before we proceed, man, first we want to again thank you for taking a moment out of your day to join us and tell us a little bit about yourself and get us familiar with what it is that you do. And again, like I said previously, it's just basically a conversation over coffee with a
Mhm.
few family members standing in the background.
Right. Brothers catching up, right?
Just brothers
Yes,
catching up.
sir.
That's the
Brothers
Yeah,
theme of
catching
the
up.
that's it.
show. Like we
Yeah,
always say
yeah.
on the show with Midas and I, and you're a part of this too, LG. When we doing the show, this is really what we would be doing if we was in person, just talking to each other.
Absolutely.
Like when Midas and I did shows together, we're just cutting up and talking while I'm
Yep.
DJing
Yeah.
and while he's performing. And then when you come in the group, when you come around too, it's the same thing. It's
It's
just
the
this is
same
just what
thing.
we'd be doing anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, matter of
Yeah.
fact, just to let the audience in, just to pull the curtain back for a second. Before we went live, we was dying laughing. And while the intro was running, I was trying to get my wind back.
Yeah.
Straight
Yeah,
clowning,
but we,
man.
I
yeah,
said,
we
well,
have a
that's
good
that's a show
time. Yeah,
right there.
yeah. I was about to just get up and go home about my day after that. But I digress.
Yeah.
Mr. LG LeVar Gladden, please tell our folks at home where you're born and raised, and tell us a little bit of background about your childhood and upbringing.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm a natural born Carolinian. Was born in Charlotte, but raised a little south over the border in South Carolina, small community called Lansford, about 20 minutes south of Rock Hill, where we are now.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, born and raised. Yeah, grew up in the country, so I still have those
Uh-huh.
southern roots. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But
Yes.
grew up learning how to respect people, have a respect for the elderly, the
Got
adults.
to.
Grew up in the church, so I have a strong faith in everything, man. Education was important, and then found
Hmm.
my love for music throughout that time, man. When you're in the point of discovering if you're going to be in athletics or sports or anything like that,
Yeah.
dabbled in both, but music just took over, so like that's pretty much how it evolved.
Yeah. Got you.
Oh,
So your passion or love for music goes back to about what age when you started like music maybe for lack of a better term started speaking to you differently
yeah,
from
yeah.
a
Well, it's interesting because I mean, and I know y'all can probably relate. It happens
Mhm.
at an age where you don't know what is speaking to
you
you.
know
You
you
just
have to
start,
look back and yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I would say probably, and what's funny, kind of to tie things together full circle. Like my son just turned 6, and I'm
Mhm.
noticing how at 4 and 5, how he's like having this ear for like reciting words to songs or like melody and all that. And then I think back to when I was his age, and I'm like, well, I was doing the same thing too. I have
Right.
pictures with me trying to play a little guitar and everything. So I think during
Yeah.
that age, it was starting to speak to me, but I just didn't know what it
Mhm.
was.
Mhm.
I feel like I really started to identify that, like, oh, this is something I love when I was
Uh-huh.
about 8 or 9 years old. That's when I could
Right.
identify the like, oh, I love this stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
what was happening around the house at that age? Were your parents, playing a lot of music around the house that got you into it, or older siblings or cousins, anything like that?
Yeah, so I would say I have an older sister. She's 7 years older than I am, and
Mhm.
I remember kind of like mirroring her, like when she would get her back in the days, cassette tapes, of
Yeah, man. Talk about it.
boys and stuff like that, and we would always try to watch music videos when we could. We didn't have access like that in the house, but when we could, we were just always watching music videos. And I remember kind of wanting to mimic the music she was listening to. So that's when I grew my
Okay.
love for like hip hop and R&B and all that type of stuff. So I was around it from that standpoint. And then, I think subconsciously I was becoming a student of like, rhymes and all that type of stuff and stage presence and performances and everything without even realizing it, because I was
Yeah.
always in tune with what she was listening to. Yeah.
Nice, very nice. Got
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
by the bug early. Now, what are some of these records she was listening to? Because I got an older sister as well. I'm just curious. Was it some TLC, some SWV?
Yeah, it was all that. I would say if you think everything that was jumping in the urban community in the late 80s and 90s, like think
Okay.
that. I remember like no joke, the first record I remember just being obsessed with was the Bobby Brown "Don't Be Cruel" album, like die hard Bobby Brown during that time. So
Yeah.
that marks like that. If you want to put like a timestamp on it, like around that is when I can say I remember being obsessed with like
Yeah.
Blogger and all that type of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
So
And while you
I'm a
go
few
ahead,
years
man.
older. I'm a few years older than you, but I was just about to ask before you mentioned Bobby Brown. I was just about to ask, were you in the house doing the New Edition? If it isn't Love Steps, like I was.
Ah,
Still know the whole
I
routine.
remember the dances from the video and everything. Man.
Yeah.
yeah. I remember Candy Girl was one. I don't know if that all of that was on the same album, but that was one
That
that
was
I
way
couldn't get
early.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't get enough of that when I would repeat. I would borrow the tapes from my friends. Growing up in a religious household, you wasn't going to the store and buying that, especially if it wasn't your bread. Shout out to my moms. You heard? But you got friends and like, oh, let me borrow that. Then my uncle had certain artists he listened to, but it's funny how you discover these things and then you enjoy listening to them, and they kind of kickstart your love for music, and so you're tapped in at this point, I suppose.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, man. So let me ask you this. So okay, so it's still in the childhood phase. I guess at this point you have an older sister. Did you find yourself getting involved in any like talent shows or anything along the way?
So it's funny you mentioned that. God, man, you making me reflect. But one thing that I would say, if I still saw a particular teacher to this day, she would still bring up this time. But this was before I was even in kindergarten. I remember staying in, like being babysat by one of my cousins while my mom was at work. And so her daughter, which is still my cousin, was in the talent show, was doing like a little dance routine. And I remember telling them like, hey, I want to see, do you think I can go up and sing? I just want to sing something. And like I said, before kindergarten, I probably was like 4 or 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5. Yeah.
And I don't know how they made it happen, but they got me on stage. And I remember singing the hook to I'll Be Sure If I'm Not Your Lover.
Wow.
And that was my first introduction of like being on stage. And I remember a round of applause. But like it started off saying, I think those were things where you just want to do it and you don't realize that like you're being prepared for something, you're being good for something,
Yeah. So I'm guessing that you were intrigued by the whole concept of performing. Which gave you courage. You weren't shy. You know what I'm saying? But you wanted you felt the urge to get up and do something.
Yeah. It was always being intrigued with like the crowd's reaction. Like, yes, the music was important, but I remember on Saturday mornings watching Soul Train, and then I think Apollo would come on like late Saturday or something, and then just watching how they would have the special guests and everybody just dancing and being entertained by it. Like, I was just always intrigued by that.
Yeah, and I'm sure they got a kick out of a 4-year-old singing "If I Ain't Your Lover."
Yeah, like, listen back to the words. It's like, hey,
right? Tell me what I am.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
That's what you are.
Yeah. So wow.
That's
so
awesome.
Okay. So you did that before kindergarten. So did that lead to any other talent shows as you were starting to I guess find your niche with listening and reciting music? Were there any other talent shows like in high school or anything that you jumped in?
Yeah, so I would say, just kind of like, make a long story short, I went through a phase actually of still enjoying music, but I guess looking on it, I went through a little bit of a shy phase in like elementary school or whatever.
Okay.
But I always loved like when we had like the class plays and everything like that. So
Okay.
I would I would like enjoy being during those moments, like the plays, the theater, and all that type of stuff. But it was when I got into middle school when I remember I forget how it came up, but I remember like doing like a freestyle or something on the
Okay.
playground. And like,
Wow.
again, it's going back to that moment when I did that pre-kindergarten talent show of like people just reacting. And then
Yeah.
forward to high school, you know, I remember it being like a pep rally leading to a football game.
Okay.
And the DJ just had some instrumentals playing. And I remember grabbing, I used to be obsessed with like fast flow, like Bone Thugs and everything. And I remember grabbing the mic and then just like going on this rapid speed freestyle. And then again, that crowd rushing around. So I think periodically I had moments of realizing like, man, there's power in this microphone, you know, and
Absolutely.
you can make people like really have a great time and change the whole dynamics
Yeah.
in terms of thinking musically, but then at the same time, it's like so many other avenues where that can take place.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's being a master of ceremonies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, and
that's
then
what
you start to
Go
realize
ahead.
that's what people like resonate with you, and I think that's what really made it want to be a thing for me because I saw like people identified and associated me with that, and I think that's what really made me want to say like, okay, this is something I want to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And so as you progressed, what other things did you find yourself? Now I know eventually you started making, did somebody have Amazon come just a minute ago?
Yeah, that was me. I'm gonna step out to the door real quick because this
Go
guy's
ahead, man.
outside. Oh, he good.
Go ahead,
He's
go
good.
ahead. I
No,
want
he's
to make sure
good.
y'all good. I can hold it down.
Yeah, let me just make sure he's
Just
good. I'll be right back. Y'all
yeah,
keep
yeah,
talking.
yeah. Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, hey, like, you gotta love this Amazon and everything like that. I be ordering off of there too
Right?
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with that being said, definitely check out Smooth Sales, ladies and gentlemen, and I know Shortcut Community. That's my brother's online shopping store, Smooth Sales. All right, so I'm back. Let's throw a little quick commercial in. Yeah, so you eventually got into making your own music, your
hmm
own beats and production and things like that. How did that come about in between you doing talent shows and under or enjoying the fact that you like you said, you understood there was power in the microphone and emceeing, being a master of ceremony. How did you eventually transition into making your own music?
Yeah, yeah. So my own music was something I always wanted to do. I would say a friend of mine, we recorded our first demo probably around 16. And
Okay.
so I'm intrigued with that process. I think I always wanted to be behind the scenes in terms of production, though. Like I was always obsessed with like seeing pictures of the SSL boards, NPCs,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the beauty of where we are now is we have technology to make things so affordable. Back then,
Yeah.
growing up, you know, I remember going in Sam Ash and
Oh
Guitar Center,
man. See,
dreaming to be
I'm
able
never
to
getting this.
yeah, yeah. Like I just tap on the drum, just let me hear a kick one time, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But so I would say it probably wasn't that part. The production came later.
Hmm.
I bought my first 8-track mixer probably when I was sophomore in college. Um,
Okay.
I think my first program that I bought was actually no, somebody hooked me up with the demo version of Sonar. Then I went to
Oh
Reason,
yeah,
and then
Sonar.
just
Man, I
started.
forgot about
Yeah,
Sonar.
yeah, yeah. So I go back
Wow.
to that time right there when you had Sonar and like the Cakewalk programs, and then I just
Yeah.
started trying to learn about the software aspect of everything because I
Hmm.
saw that that's what things were transitioning to. But
Right.
then I also started trying to learn about production, and to be real, not just saying this, like I learned a lot of it from you because at that point you was
Oh
making
wow.
the beats and everything, the motif and everything. So like just kind of
Yeah.
like having you kind of critique and put your ear to some of the things that I
I
was doing really
appreciate
helped
that,
me
man.
develop. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, man. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate that, and at the same time, and I always tell people, and I still do this for people to this day, like, and even if you need me to add something,
Mhm.
I'm available. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I enjoy helping others. Like if you make music and we people, you know what I'm saying? I don't mind coming through and giving an opinion or maybe helping add a little something
Right.
to embellish different things. So I appreciate that, man. I
Yeah, most
appreciate that.
definitely. Most
Yeah,
definitely.
because I want to
But
say, I
we
think
go way back, man.
way back, man. So and I believe that when we did meet, you were already putting out material at that time when we met.
Yeah, I would say I probably came on the tail end of the selling CDs out your trunk or trying to push them that way. I remember packaging up like my demos and everything and put my own labels and all that kind of stuff with it. And so we met around that time when I was either in the process of getting something out or I had just finished putting something out
Yeah.
with that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because at the time we had done that Carolina Connection album.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I remember that, man.
Yeah. So that's amazing. I think we might have traded off CDs or something at that point. And I got a chance to hear what you did, and you got a chance to hear what we were working on at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Famous. Are we lagging a little bit? Are we
Yeah,
good?
it's a little bit of a lag. I'm trying to see if there's something I can fix here. But keep talking, we're
All
good.
right. Yeah. Real quick, while we taking a little pause for the cause, ladies and
fixed.
gentlemen, if you're in the
Fixed it.
comments, go ahead and hit the likes, hit the hearts one time. We need to try to boost this algorithm while we here. Yeah, and feel free to continue to comment, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, if you have a question that's directed for either the co-host or the guest, feel free to drop it in the
Yeah.
comments.
Yeah, be a part of the show. This is an interactive experience. You are the
Yeah.
show. It's not just us. It's not just LG.
No, it's
Y'all are the
not
show
just
too.
us. Yeah. And so we're talking about Famous, just to catch you up. We're at the point now where we're talking about when he was in the phase of releasing music, when pressing up his own music after he recorded it and
Yeah.
selling it and distributing it himself.
Yeah.
Which kind of leads me to our next little
I got my
bullet
copy.
point. Yeah, I got a couple of them boys too.
You want a
But
couple of them, right?
Yeah, I got a couple of them. Somebody spelled that in the comments.
Couple of them.
Yeah. But there was a period we was doing showcases, y'all, you guys, and so I think that's the next place I want to just kind of revisit if that's cool. But there was a period where Famous and I had the opportunity to host some hip hop showcases. We had got to it. This is at this point Famous and I had met, and I knew he was doing some DJ work, and then I started MCing with him, and we would do a lot of things entertainment wise at different establishments locally. But then we had the idea we were going to start putting on our own hip hop showcases. There wasn't an outlet for hip hop music to be performed locally, and we knew there were up and coming artists who had music that needed to be heard. And not only that would give them an opportunity for their fan base to get a chance to see them perform, not just hear the music on a CD, but a chance to perform. I just want you to give a little synopsis on that time, if you don't mind, and maybe what you thought of it and things like that.
Yeah, incredible. Well, like first, that's where Famous and I met. Famous Fridays. I remember that like
Famous
yesterday.
Fridays. Yeah.
And it's like, I think that was big. And again, kind of like what you guys are doing, even with this platform. You always saw the culture and saw what the game needed and want to put it to the forefront in our area and in our community. And I think we, especially during that time, that everybody wasn't trying to like rap. We didn't have a lot of like online community presence at that time, and I feel like that was something that was just needed locally, just to let people know like, hey, we here, like in our area. Like you don't have to seek outside sources. Like come visit what we're doing, and then to be fortunate enough to be a part of that platform and perform at various times. That was huge, man. Major for what y'all did.
Yeah, it was crazy because sometimes we have two people DJing. You might see a guy. Shout out to Josh Waters. One of the events we did. He's playing making beats and out loud live. And there was when we used to pack the place out, man. But I think I got the most satisfaction out of being able to provide a platform. I would perform too, and LG, of course, you perform. But I would also host. But I got a lot of my biggest joy and satisfaction came from knowing we provided a platform for other artists who don't get the opportunity to perform their music. So those are some good times. Then
great times.
And also around, I don't remember which happened first, but I remember going to see the two of you brothers in Gastonia.
Oh yeah,
right?
So when I had that showcase, I had
Midas performing. LG was DJing for Midas in Gastonia, and I think that was one of the things that led me to want to, be in DJing around, behind the MC, like that too. I was like, cause y'all killed it in Gastonia. That was like when I
Yeah.
first met Midas. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
this is nice. And LG was on the mic from behind the tables, hosting
Yeah.
it and doing. I was like, yo, these dudes are rocking it. I like
Yeah,
it.
we rehearsed. We put in a few rehearsals for that because and what I will say, they gave me a 45-minute time slot, and leading up to it, the guy who was the promoter was like, "Man, you're gonna do the whole 45 minutes? Everybody normally tap out they do about 20 minutes worth of song." I say, "No, I'm gonna be the first one to fill the whole 45 minutes," and lo and behold, we did that. We put a whole. Go ahead.
And to that point, man, I just to say, like, I think what we kind of even tying things in with like Famous Fridays, I think people were maybe not necessarily underestimated, but they were shocked by the amount of professionalism that we put into just doing a show like that to the point to where the crowd was blown away. I mean, to do a full 45-minute set and then not miss a beat, like it was, you could tell it was like a produced set that we put together as opposed to just two cats getting up rapping songs,
it wasn't like an open mic kind of thing. It was a real show.
It was well thought out and executed from one to however many songs I did that night. I did some freestyles, written freestyles, I'll be honest, over a couple of instrumentals as well as my own material, and I did a couple of acapellas, and whatever we had it mapped out from top to bottom. Did a 45-minute hip-hop set out in Gastonia and had people show up from Charlotte, of course, Rock Hill, Spartanburg was in the house that night, Greenville, I think. I'm just trying to remember what all I heard. Famous videoed it for me. There's a few clips on YouTube.
I did, didn't I? I probably still have that video then. Yeah, I still have the original.
I think you put about 4 or 5 clips on.
Well, now I'm a whole lot better in my video editing skills, so I might have to revisit that.
You a digital media strategist now. You an event coordinator, and you an executive producer, and a DJ extraordinaire yourself.
I'm gonna have to send me your Venmo. Send me your Venmo.
Yeah. I'm gonna type it in the comments.
So around that time when I first met you, LG. And then, you were DJing, MCing at the showcases with us. And then once I started to follow you, I saw that you were also doing events like weddings and stuff. And I'll tell you, and we didn't talk about this part yet. When we were talking about my story a few weeks ago, and we didn't get to the part where I transitioned into the wedding industry. But I can tell you, you were a big part of that because growing up, being a DJ, Jazzy Jeff, Jam Master Jay is what I was looking up to. And the thought of a wedding DJ at that time, oh man, those dudes are corny. Those aren't real DJs. Wedding DJs aren't real DJs. I even met a lady a few years back that worked with me, and her husband was a wedding DJ because she heard I was a DJ. Oh yeah, my husband's a DJ too. He does weddings and stuff. I'm like, he ain't a real DJ. That was the thought process. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You were really big. Once I saw what you were doing, once I started following your social, seeing you out there, with your group and doing weddings, I was like, yo, I know this dude, and he's coolest DJ I know, and he's out here doing weddings, and he's out there getting it and showing how you can bring that, what you just said, that performance aspect, that preparation without being a stereotypical cheesy wedding DJ kind of thing, really inspired me to look more into that part of the DJ as I'm getting older, and I'm not going to be in the clubs at 4:00 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And that really inspired me to say, okay, wedding DJs aren't what I thought they were, and that's because of you, really.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, I know that was one thing that I always wanted to make sure, and that's again those things that fall in your lap that you may not realize. Like, I never in a million years thought I was going to be successful with doing weddings and events, because in my mind growing up, I thought I was going to be what is considered a hip hop head and DJ. But then when I realized, like, in our area, that's high demand, and then it matched the environment, because I'm not a club guy. I've never really been that big of a club guy. So it the energy and the environments that I felt comfortable being in, it felt like it was appropriate, but I was able to take a lot of who I was as a performer and as an entertainer and kind of use that cool, fresh hip hop element and just apply to what I did there. So that's how those were two, no pun intended, married each other together.
I hit the joint one more time.
Hold
That's
on.
how those two were able to get together and then work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
man.
it was really a
Absolutely.
perfect marriage because you can bring your flavor, your hip hop flavor, your style to weddings, and believe it or not, that's really what they want, especially now. Anyway, they don't want the cheese; they want the real, the realness and hip hop really runs the world, So
Yep.
now being a hip hop base, but still knowing how to marry that into everything else in the wedding world, it's
Right.
perfect. It's perfect.
And James, I want to elaborate on that, especially with having this conversation since you still deep into it. When we say hip hop, we're talking about our flavor. We're not talking about we're not talking about musically. Like even though
Yeah.
hip hop music is an integral part of a wedding, but that still comes with like a vast knowledge of music. So
Exactly.
it's to being able to know how to still with a cool factor pivot from Motown to hip hop in one seamless night
Yeah.
and still make it cool, and I think that's I wanna touch on that to say like that's what we mean when we say hip hop. We're talking about
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
flavor
Yeah.
and not just like
Yeah.
we're stuck in that
Yeah,
box.
not
Yeah,
hip hop music. Yeah.
Because currently there's many subgenres.
Yeah,
Many
Indian.
subgenres. But the stuff we cut our teeth on, Yeah.
Yeah.
And it gets no more authentic than that, ladies and gentlemen.
For
You know.
sure.
But yeah.
So he mentioned
And
he mentioned in the intro that you DJ'd Steph Curry's wedding. Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually, that was a big event, a big production. I did more of the MC role in that case. There was about 400 people. And then I have co-DJ'd with one of my boys, DJ Clear at the time. And so, yeah, man, we just had a blast doing that again. Something in a million years I never
that's
would have
crazy.
doing.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
watching those guys now in the playoff run and all the
Oh
championships.
yeah.
I can say I've been a part of that. Like I have a picture like side by side with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
early on,
Yeah.
man, and as the good book says, your gift will make room for you.
Absolutely. No, you're right.
know?
I'm gonna give you a
Yeah,
chance
yeah.
to stun on them a little bit. Tell us some of the other places that the DJ business and the entertainment business has taken you.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been able to, from a DJ standpoint, I've done several different things with the Carolina Panthers, several NBA, NFL players, ranging from Raymond
Yeah.
Felton to Captain Munnerlyn to Trey Boston. I've been able to do their weddings and events, several NASCAR weddings. I mean,
Yeah, man.
it's a lot, and even just trying to think back and recall everything, like man, I don't want to take it for granted, but sometimes when you're in the moment, like
Yeah.
you don't
Right.
really realize what it is that you're doing.
Yeah,
I've done
almost have to.
Debbie Allen. I've been able to
Oh, okay.
do a private party for Debbie Allen, and where Debbie Allen was a guest, it was for a family member. But
Yeah.
still, man, just to say I've been in the presence of all these greats, man, is
Yeah, that's
amazing.
great. Yeah, and you got to tell us about meeting J. Cole, and then we'll move on to your next act.
Yeah, so I remember that like yesterday, and it's funny you still even remember that story because I
Yeah.
remember the day I told you, and we were
Yeah.
talking about it. We knew who he was, but super cool dude, I have to say. But I was doing this a wedding. Matter of fact, it was at the Speedway Club up in Concord, and I remember
Okay.
meeting with the groom for a go over, and they had one of those things where every couple, Fame, I'm sure you know about it. Every couple comes out to like a different song, and so when we were going out to the songs for the introductions, he gave me a CD. He said, "I know you don't know who this guy is, but this couple wants to come out to the song. We went to high school with them, and he just got signed with Rock Nation." And I'm like, okay, And so he said, and he's going to be at the wedding, so I'll introduce you to it. And like we chopped it up for probably about like 5 minutes while the party was still going on. Super cool dude, man. And it's like, dang, like I met J. Cole, thinking about it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, before the world did,
Yeah. So, yes, I appreciate you bringing that conversation back up because I remember us going back over it. Like, is he really signed with Rock
Yeah.
Nation?
Yeah,
Well, we see he is.
Yeah, because my whole thing is I never heard of him, and I
Right.
kind of I'm an internet comer of the internet when it comes to like music and interviews and things like that, and I'm like I never heard of this guy. So my whole thing was like because we've been around cats like this before. Hey, he just talking. Yeah, you know
Yeah,
how cats do. They just talking.
yeah,
Yeah,
But
that's
no one
my man
being
from high school. Yeah, you know that.
yeah.
Come
That's
on.
my man.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
everybody had a Rockefeller chain on at
Yeah,
some point.
right.
everybody. I might have tried to make me one out of cardboard.
Yeah,
Speaking of
my
like
man
the
got the hat.
like the wrestling belts.
Yeah.
Y'all ever made a wrestling belt out of
Oh
cardboard?
yeah, absolutely. I'm still
Yeah,
about to
yeah,
get. I'm trying to find one. I'm trying to find the Ric Flair belt, like a replica
yeah,
of it. I'm gonna start bringing it
yeah,
with me to events. Just bring
yeah,
it out
Should.
after
yeah,
like 30 minutes left. You know when it get hot when there's 30 minutes left. Bring the belt out,
yeah.
put it right on my DJ table. Let's
There you
go. We
go.
got
The
30
champ
minutes
is
left.
here. The champ is here. You know, and they and just to digress, they got a whole. I think there's some little series on YouTube or something about these championship belts and their journeys and where they end up and all of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, the
People
gold
trying
belt.
to
Yeah,
find them. Yeah, yeah. So shout out to all the belts out there.
yeah.
Yeah, man. So and you also got into some engineering. So it
Yeah,
be
so
it studio and mixing and mastering and all of that. Let's talk about
yeah,
that a little bit. And
probably back around like 2009, 2010, I actually opened up a small production studio and really gained my knack for engineering there, and
mhm.
realized like that was a big part that was in high in demand. And I realized like I started to become a huge fan of sonics, like just making
Yeah,
things sound
sound
right,
and everything.
and so that's something I still do to this day over a lot. Like work with people on engineering their projects and just making things come to life. Because we live in a time now where it's so accessible to be able to make beats and
Yeah,
different styles. It's all subjective, but one thing that isn't subjective is a clean mix. Like you
Hmm.
either have it or you don't, and so I
right.
find that being the service that a lot of people still need. So still work with engineering. That part, kind of will always stay with me. I'm a big lover of that piece.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that is one of the services that you're still currently offering today.
Yeah, and it's more than
So,
just music. I've helped people with voiceover work,
mhm.
various projects, audio books, things like that. Whatever you need just to make it come to life, or if
Mm.
it's just that one demo, or if you just ever want to hear yourself sound good on a song,
Yeah,
Yeah,
helping
mixing.
with a lot of that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So ladies and gentlemen,
Let LG
uh
master your joint.
yeah, yeah, let him.
Sure.
He's still semi-retired as a DJ and as an artist. But if you
Hmm.
need something mixed, you need to get in the studio and record, do any voiceovers, anything like that, definitely give him a shout. We're gonna give you his information here in just a little bit.
For
But
sure.
last but not
But
least,
hold on, before we go there, I just want to say real quick that we will
go
be
ahead.
bringing him out of retirement.
Oh,
Cause
okay.
there's a couple ideas in the brain right now. We talked before
Oh,
about something in Rock Hill. We're gonna get a venue in Rock Hill to throw something, and Midas and LG will be headlining it. And
okay.
we're gonna bring him out of retirement.
I'm with it, man. I'm
Famous,
with anything for y'all, man. I'm with it.
famous, trying to speak it into existence,
I'm
man.
trying to
Yeah.
speak it up,
I
man.
think I think he got the faith the size of a mustard
We're
seed.
looking looking for sponsorships right now, so holla at us.
Yeah, yeah. We have to for one night and one night only.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we can put something together. My mind and ears are open. You know what I
Let's
mean?
work on it.
For
Let's
Yeah,
work
man.
sure,
on it.
for
Absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but I was gonna say so because I know we about to start running low on time here, but wanted to get into the last hat that you currently wear and well tell us this. How did you get into offering services as a trainer and your consultation as far as fitness and health? I guess I know because I met you in the gym.
Hmm.
So I
Yes.
think that's go
Yeah,
ahead.
when we met, that was actually when I was finding my own. I guess that was the development of the passion for working out and making it become more of a lifestyle. Because had a period of time as a kid overweight, and didn't prioritize health, and then I started getting into playing sports and being more physically active in the latter years of high school, and that's when I
Hmm.
started noticing transformations in my body and changes and everything, and that kind of transitioned over to college and used to work out on campus. And then I remember that's when the local gym opened up across from
Yeah,
campus. And
peak fitness.
Peak Fitness, yeah, and that's where we met. And
Yep.
during that time, that's when I was learning more about creating it as a passion and as a lifestyle. And then just through as I got older, it was always something that I felt I wanted to do. Like I would always help people out and give information and advice without
Hmm.
being like a certified trainer. And then at one point, it was a slow season for doing events, and I just got a job as a trainer at a gym, and I really saw that it was impacting, helping people, and whether it be instilling confidence or just helping people just like get better and better improve health markers throughout their blood work, whatever the case may be. And that part really became a passion. And it's amazing how that kind of still has so many similarities to what I do and did from a entertainment standpoint, because it was still an element of people had to believe in you and you had to win people over, just like saying when you were winning people over. And when I saw that, I had that capability of doing that. I went in and got my full credentials and just really kind of took off from there. Managed a few gyms since then, and really right now I'm working on like reaching a mass community in terms of outreach by going more of an online virtual platform as well. So I have some things that's coming up in the rankings there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's good timing there, Famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I wasn't expecting that. I'm like, man, get it.
Yeah, I like to throw a little surprise on you real quick.
Hit it.
Yeah,
I apologize.
yeah.
I had to run out again. This guy was spraying mosquito spray, and he had a lot of questions.
Hey, where you want me to spray by the steps as well, And then you want to get around each window to detour them from trying to come in Yeah, absolutely. Anywhere there's a little opening, you can go ahead and press that off.
This time of year, go ahead and get it in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So you offer consultation as far as health and fitness is concerned. Also, design. I'm supposing you design workouts tailored for each individual person, whoever your client. Any nutrition plans? You do all that stuff too.
Yep, I'm a level 1 certified nutrition coach through the Nutritional Coaching Institute. So I help people mostly. Yes, I can develop a meal plan, but what I really work on at this age and this stage is the health aspect and making it a lifestyle. So mine is more based on the psychology of why is it hard to adhere to certain programs or to stay the course in the program. So I help with all of that.
Okay, awesome, man. And what's so you don't really necessarily have a demographic as far as target area or radius, because it's all done online mostly.
Yeah, well, it is in terms of like the platform, but I feel like the most people I've been helping have been women, especially as they reach that middle age, and a lot of times like helping women pivot from feeling like it's all about cardio. Let me eat 500 calories. Realize like, no, you need to fuel your body and let's build muscle to really gain what you need hormonally and what you need from a physical aspect. And then, again, just turning 39 not too long ago, that's an open game for me to be able to help men realize like, hey, it's not so much emphasis just on how we look in the mirror, but when's the last time how do you feel? What's your testosterone level looking like? And if what methods can we use to improve your lifestyle to help get it to that point? So I've been really feeling like that's been a huge demographic. And I'm also getting ready to work on some youth certifications too, because I feel like there's a big demand to work with youth in our future, and whether it be sports or just being active in general.
Yeah.
Nice, man. So you sound like you keeping pretty busy then.
Yeah.
Busy, man. I'm grinding. Yeah, grinding.
Yeah. Got to do it, man.
I feel like it's a blessing to be able to say the things you are passionate about, somebody's willing to pay you for it because of how passionate you are about it. So I don't take that for granted at all.
Yeah, and not only passionate but knowledgeable and professional.
Right.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah, because I can be passionate but don't know what in the world I'm doing. Hey, I'm passionate though. Hey,
I feel like we probably cross many people like that in our field. So,
man. Passionate, but hey, you still got to have a little talent and a little education.
You gotta have something with it. Yeah, when you were just talking about you starting and getting into youth activities as well, that reminded me of our previous guest, Cedric. Was his name Cedric, right? The barber, and he does swimming. He does swimming.
Craig.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Craig.
Yeah.
Craig. He was a youth swim coach. And that's like his passion is doing swimming and getting back into that for the youth and stuff like that. And it just reminded me of that when you were talking about taking your fitness into the youth areas as well, because that's important, man. Get them started early.
Yeah. Shout out to Craig.
it's important, especially just to keep active. When you hear the numbers of obesity numbers rising and all
Yeah.
that, it starts with instilling that, but making it fun at the same time, and not always
Absolutely.
relating it to sport or having to get better just to improve to win a championship. It's like, no, we need to get
Hmm.
back to making this a lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. That's
That's right,
great.
man.
That's great. Yeah, yeah. And so if anybody wanted to contact you for any type of if you need some audio mixing done, ladies and
Mhm.
gentlemen, again, that includes bringing your track to the studio. You need to lay any vocals down. When I say lay vocals down, recording your vocals so
Mhm.
you can hear them on the playback. If you need to do any voiceover work, or you want to participate in some training, or get some advice on your nutrition and all of that, LG, how can they contact you?
Yeah, so I'm working on a central hub for everything, because I understand it's a lot when you talk about it out, say it out loud. So,
Mhm.
but for right
Uh-huh.
now, if you want to reach out to me on Instagram, so any engineering related type projects, I usually affiliate those with the Mr. LG, MISTALG, on Instagram, and then I also have a Gladden Personal Training, like my last name, Gladden Personal Training. If you want to reach out to me
On
for any
Instagram?
on Instagram, yep,
Okay.
yep,
You got
feel
that
free
with
to.
Too Famous?
Yep.
Okay.
We got it. And we just scored
Yeah.
our first sponsorship. Juan Velasquez says Cruise Planners will be sponsor our show when we do our showcase.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We
Oh,
want,
the one that we're gonna bring him out of retirement
yeah,
on?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
There you go. So
Cruise
that means it
Planners will
has to be a
sponsor
done
that.
deal now, right? Like,
Yep.
It's
no.
definitely done. Definitely done. Hey, Juan, drop your the raffle still going on? Did he drop it in
I
there?
think it was I think it was Saturday.
It's already. I thought it was the 18th.
Oh, you might be right. Yeah, yeah. Drop that stuff back in there again, Juan, about the raffle if that's still
About the
happening.
raffle.
If you're
Yeah,
still selling tickets to the cruise raffle, Virgin
we're gonna
Voyages.
push that one more time, because you can, ladies and gentlemen, you can get one, two, or however many raffle tickets you would like to get.
Hmm.
And you could possibly get your name drawn for a lovely vacation. It doesn't have to be. Is it a cruise? It's a
It's a
cruise
cruise for
already
two. Yeah,
determined.
cruise for
That's
two.
right.
Yeah.
And it's for a good cause.
Yeah, all the
Proceeds will
proceeds
be
go
going.
to the Haven Men's Shelter in Rock Hill. All the proceeds from the raffle go to the Haven's Men's Shelter in Rock Hill. And there will be a drawing to win a cruise for two with Virgin Voyages.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not to be confused with Jay-Z's homeboy DeHaven. Yeah, what's wrong with you guys, man? I just tried to tie it all in. J. Cole,
Yeah.
Jay-Z, DeHaven, you
The
know what I
Haven.
mean?
There it
Yeah,
is.
all
So
right.
Juan put that in the comments. So y'all check that out and share it with your people too. Share it with your friends so you know when that drawing is. The drawing was moved to May 20th, he said. Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. So did we cover everything? Did we leave any stones unturned?
Nah,
LG?
man, I appreciate the conversation, man. Like I said, I have a lot of things in the pipeline, and be prepared for more. I'm working on getting my YouTube content, my media company, everything just being developed right now. So I'm busy behind the scenes. So you should just keep follow me on my pages, and
Hmm.
you'll hear more information about me soon when I get ready to release stuff.
Yeah. Now you have a
Absolutely.
YouTube channel that already that you wanna put
I'm
out
working
there?
on. I had one, but I'm getting ready to rebrand.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be. I'll be dropping some information on what that rebranding is going to be. And I mentioned it to you in the green room, but
Yeah.
I do have some episodes of podcast Bars and Beats podcast that I
Yes,
dropped.
sir.
I'm getting ready to pick that up with this next season pretty soon.
Mhm.
Working on some production and everything for that. So
Yeah.
a lot of
We're
me
gonna be
coming
the
down
first
the line
guest.
pretty soon. Yeah, absolutely.
We're
You
gonna be
already
the
know.
first guests. The
Yeah.
guys from the No Shortcut show. We're gonna kick off
Shortcut.
Yeah.
the relaunch, you know?
That'll
Yeah,
be
man.
awesome. That'll be
Yeah,
awesome.
man.
What about any advice, LG? Anything you learned along the way? Any advice for up and coming entrepreneurs, hustlers, self managers? Anything that you want to leave them with?
Yeah. Just don't take your foot off the gas. You may have to pivot. There's going to be pivots. I think, unfortunately, a lot of times you hear the bottom story and then the success story, but you never hear the in between. And the many turns that have to get made. You may have a vision and realize, like, once you get started, that this service is not really what people are gravitating towards. What else do I offer? You know, and then
Yeah.
that's how you realize you're getting into doing weddings as opposed to thinking you're going to be just in the clubs, you know, things
Right.
like that. So, you know, just kind of stay in the course and follow what God put the position he puts you in with everything, and then you'll be good. You know, you may have moments where you may have to go get a part-time job or a full-time opportunity, but still keep that in your back pocket and keep
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
It's all a
Just keep
part of
it.
the journey. Yep.
Yeah.
It's all a part of the journey, man. So
Yeah.
that's what would be one big piece of advice I would give.
Yeah, and another
Absolutely,
thing we
man.
like to ask our guests as well. We know you are also a family man. You got a wife, and shout out to your lovely wife and your son, Wesley. You said he just turned 6
It turned
know,
6 yesterday.
yesterday. Happy birthday, Wesley!
Yeah,
You know
happy
what I mean?
birthday.
Yeah. So, but we always like to ask our guests when it comes to that. How do you balance everything as far as your career, staying busy, being a husband, being a father?
Yeah.
Is there
Well,
certain? Go ahead.
It's funny because I will say a part of it with me is a part of the reason why I retired from doing events, not because it was any pressure, but because I feel like I waited kind of fairly late, you know, to have kids and start a family and everything. I wanted to be as present as possible. So that's the reason why I realized I started to see the value of a Saturday and a weekend for me.
Yeah,
That's
for the
why
kids.
I kind of you know, tailored off from doing events live. But now what I do is kind of pour into that music knowledge. So if I'm working in the home studio, I allow him to come in and like peck around on the keys or the drum machine or set up the controller and let him like get used to just spinning the platters and see it. What I'm doing now is pouring that into him. And then same thing with fitness. Sometimes I'll just do it instead of going to the gym. I'll do a workout at home just to see him like want to come and do some push-ups beside me because he's seeing me.
That's wonderful.
You know, so I think that's the biggest thing. Just incorporate family and what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
Facts. Yeah, because I even take my son, you know, if it makes sense, the travel, the time we get back and certain things like that, I bring him on, you know, he'll help carry some stuff, help us set up, plug my cords in. And I think the biggest thing is as far as that type of stuff is concerned, is having access. You know what I mean? If Bill Gates wouldn't be Bill Gates if he didn't have access to a computer at a young age. You know what I'm saying? So it's about having access and what we allow our kids to not just access, but what we also pour into them, you know, and one experience you build on top of that, keep building, and you never know, you know, they put their little twisted creativity on it, and the sky's the limit. But that's great, you know, and I say that for all of us, you know, being great dads and being there for our kids, man, balancing careers and making sure we present. You know, you guys married, not me yet. But having kids, balance, man, and you don't want this scale to tip too far in either direction. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes being present is the biggest head start you can give, you know?
Yeah, hey, your presence is better than any presence I could give to you.
Man, you must be a rapper. You must be a rapper.
Yeah, that's a line of something. That's a line of something I recorded. Yeah, I rap a little bit. I rap a little
play
bit.
with words.
They're gonna pull me out of retirement too, man. I might as well go ahead and do this one. I'm gonna be Carlito. Do this last job, yo. Carlito's Way to remix, you know.
Well, Juan already said he wants to do bars and beats on a cruise, so
bars and beats on a cruise.
I like it.
the creative juices are flowing, and then there's something else creative happening in the chat because Miss Francis says she's got to find you a wife.
Oh, I forgot Mom was still on here. Wink, 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 wink. Yeah. Hey, y'all wonder where I get it from. Look no further. There it is. There's your answer, guys. There's your answer. No. Yeah, man. Any closing words from you guys? We're a little bit over our time, but we're gonna, you know.
That was great, man. That was great. I just want to thank LG for coming in with us, man. This was a great talk for sure.
Yeah, I just want to
appreciate y'all for having me on the platform, man. It's been a great conversation. Enjoyed catching up with y'all.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do it like a Wings and Arnold Palmer night or something.
Yeah,
we're gonna figure it out once we sign off, you know, and figure out something for us to chop it up, man, for a little bit. We might have to tell Juan to come on through too. Yeah, Juan, you go get Mike. We gonna do something. Have a little brethren's chat, you know. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, this Thursday The chairman of the board and executives will be in Pickens, South Carolina. That's this Thursday at 7. Also Saturday, will be in Tega Cay, South Carolina. So that's will be a nice little pre-Mother's Day celebration. For all the information, you can either message me or go over to the chairman of the board.com. You know, and let me, while I'm talking about the chairman of the board, I got to say, you know, I will be talking in the green room. LG and Brandon Stevens, another former guest of ours, you know, and also my Mellow Groove brother. But they are the ones who got me in touch with Mr. Ken Knox back in the day, where that led to my audition with the current chairman of the board. I was at the time performing with Danny Woods, who was another original member of the chairman of the board after General Johnson passed away. And so, you know, the guys at that time kind of spread instead of, you know, remaining intact. So I went from working with Danny to LG, giving a recommendation to Ken on my behalf, as well as Mr. Brandon Stevens, giving a recommendation to Ken Knox on my behalf. And here I am 10 years later, still, you know what I mean? And with that being said, we got that Carolina Shuffle song, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to Google or YouTube, the chairman of the board, featuring Mr. LG, is a song called the Carolina Shuffle. So, you know,
I believe it's on iTunes too, if I'm not mistaken.
iTunes, wherever, all of your little, all of your platforms, ladies and gentlemen, check that out. But that's all I got for this week. And you can, if you want to get sanctified, you can catch me at church on Sunday morning in McConnell, South Carolina, at Mount Dewell Baptist Church.
There you go. And you can check out Juan. He's going to be at the print shop in Fort Mill selling raffle tickets to the cruise raffle, 11 to 3 on Saturday. Saturday. Yeah, at the print shop by Amor Artiste. I did a Christmas party at Amor Artiste this past year. That was pretty cool. But yeah, go check out Juan and get them raffle tickets. And this is a good show, man.
It was fantastic. I want to just take a moment to thank LG one last time. Thank you all who came through, even if you had to just pop in and you had to leave. We know it's lunchtime. It's the middle of the day on a Tuesday, you know, but we thank you all. Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to Facebook. Shout out to Instagram. Shout out to Twitch. And let's do this again next week.
Yeah, Tuesday, and make sure you share this with your friends, with your family. Tag somebody in the comments that you want them to see this interview. You want them to get hooked up with LG at Mr. LG on Instagram.
Yes, sir. LG, stay on the line, and we're going to go ahead and sign off. God bless, folks. Y'all have a great week. Peace and love till we meet again.
Peace.
Hey.
So.